Welcome back, students. Today we are going to start up with a new chapter, that is green plants. Green plants are a part of nature that surrounds us. They are called producers since they prepare their food from inorganic substances like sunlight, air, water, etc. All the organisms, directly or indirectly, depend upon plants for their nourishment. Let us discuss more about it. Firstly, leaf. Leaves are the life-giving parts of the plant as they are having the capability of making food in the presence of sunlight. Leaves act as a medium of transfer of sun's energy to all organisms on the earth. Now children, what is the color of the leaf? Yes, color of the leaf is green. Why it is green? It is green due to the presence of green pigment chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment that is found in the plants only. Chlorophyll helps the plant to absorb sunlight, and with this sunlight leaves are able to prepare the food for themselves and for the whole plant. Before moving further, let us give a quick review of various parts of the leaf. Leaf consists of various parts like tip, midrib or main vein, leaf margin, leaf blade or lamina, petiole, side veins, etc. A leaf has a leaf blade which is limited by the margins. The wide surface area of the leaf helps in sufficient absorption of sunlight. The leaf blade bears one central vein called the midrib. From it, several smaller veins arises. The midrib also supports the leaf and maintain its shape. Several side veins arises from the main vein. This network of veins helps in the distribution of water and nutrients to all parts of the leaf. The stalk with which leaf is attached to the plant is called a petiole. The upper surface of the leaf is protected from infection and water loss by a thin waxy layer called as cuticle. When we observe lower surface of the leaf under the microscope, we have found various microscopic openings. These microscopic openings, they are called as stomata. This allow carbon dioxide and oxygen gas to pass through. The lower surface has a special mechanism to allow the gaseous exchange. These openings in the stomata are regulated by a pair of guard cells. Now let us discuss about the main functions of the leaf. How are the leaves useful for the plant? Firstly, they are the food factories or the kitchen of the plant. Why they are called as the kitchen of the plant? Because leaves prepare food for the plants from water, air and sunlight. And this process of preparation of food is called as photosynthesis. Secondly, leaves also help the plant to breathe. Through the tiny holes present in it, they are called as stomata. Thirdly, leaves give out extra water. Through the stomata, this process is called as transpiration. Also, Leaves of some plants can be eaten by us. That is, some plants store their extra food in their leaves, and that food we can eat as our food. Example: tulsi, spinach, coriander, mint, cabbage, etc. The first and foremost important function of the leaf is to prepare food for the plant. That is why they are known as the kitchen of the plant or food factories of the plant. Since leaves prepare food for the plant from sunlight. To absorb that sunlight, leaves are having a very special feature that is called as chloroplasts. These chloroplasts, they are present in the leaf. They give green color to the leaf. So, what is chloroplast? Chloroplast is a green colored pigment present in the leaves. The process of preparing food for the plant from water, sunlight, carbon dioxide is known as photosynthesis. Let us discuss in detail what are the things required for the photosynthesis and what is given out after photosynthesis. This is the chemical equation of photosynthesis, which clearly represents for performing photosynthesis, plants required carbon dioxide and water. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, these gets converted into glucose, which can be called as the plant food, and oxygen is given as a byproduct of the photosynthesis. Now, let us discuss from where does plants get all the necessary conditions for photosynthesis. Firstly, plants draws water and minerals from the soil through their roots, and these roots transfer this water and minerals to the leaves through the stem. Second is carbon dioxide required by the leaves to perform their food. They can be getted by the leaves from the air, from the atmosphere. Thirdly, the light required by the leaves to convert the carbon dioxide and water into glucose, leaves can get it from the sun. And chlorophyll is already present in the leaves. And all after performing the process of this photosynthesis, the glucose is used by the plants for performing its various functions, and the oxygen is given back to the atmosphere through the stomata of the leaves. Now let us observe these things in form of a table. Plants need water and minerals which they get from the soil through the roots. Then carbon dioxide they get from atmosphere with the help of stomata. They get sunlight which they get from sun. Requirement of chlorophyll is fulfilled by the leaves. These conditions are necessary for photosynthesis, and plants get it from various sources. After performing the photosynthesis, plants produce energy in the form of glucose. This glucose is the simplest form of sugar which is used by the plants for its various purposes. Excess of glucose can also be converted into its complex form, which is called as starch. And oxygen released to the atmosphere after photosynthesis is utilized by other organisms for breathing. Now, the question arises, what happens to the food prepared by the plants in their leaves through photosynthesis? Plants use this food for doing its various works. Like plants need energy to grow in size. As we all know that plants keep on increasing in size throughout their life, and to increase in size they need energy which is they get from the food that is prepared in the leaves. They prepare seeds and fruits. They use the energy to make their new cells. They use this energy to make simple sugars like glucose. This glucose can later be converted into complex form starch. The extra food manufactured by leaves is stored in a certain parts of plant like leaves, root, stem, etc. Human beings and other organisms consumes these parts of plant as their food. Children, we all know that plants perform photosynthesis through their leaves. But what happens to the plants of cactus family that do not have leaves? Do they photosynthesize or not? Yes, these plants also perform photosynthesis. Their leaves are reduced to spines to avoid water loss from the leaves, as these plants grow at the places where there is a shortage of water. Cactus have a thick fleshy stem. The stem is normally of green color. This green color is due to chlorophyll, and photosynthesis in these plants takes place through the stem. We had already discussed that excess of glucose is converted into complex form starch. This starch is stored at various parts of plant that is consumed by us as our food. Now, as we have discussed that our food items contain starch. If our food item contains starch, can we test it? Yes, we can test the presence of starch in our food item through a simple activity. For that, we need a food item, iodine solution and a dropper. Take a food item, maybe a potato, maybe a bread, carrot, etc. Take out a small part of it, put 2-3 drops of iodine solution on that food item with the help of a dropper. If you observe the blue-black color of the food item, it indicates the presence of starch in your food. This concludes that item contains starch. Children, hope you understood today's tutorial. We will continue further in the next tutorial. Thank you and have a nice day.